good internet. Hello, and we're live again. I'm Christine Bell. I hope you can see me. I am wondering a little bit about the internet, but fingers crossed, it's all good. Sometimes the pixelation can get a little bit wonky. Hopefully it's all great. You can all see me and hear me. I'm Christine Bell. This is Snappy Chats. We do them every week, and this is about learning and growing together with other business owners, because guess what? We all go through many of the same challenges, and I'm super excited. I've got Ben here today. He's going to talk more about the company he's in. He's a technologist. I know you love technology, and you're also Emanda. Is that how we say it? Ventures?
Emanda Ventures, yeah.
Emanda Ventures, which is all about helping startups scale the businesses, correct?
Correct. Two sides to it, actually. There's a couple of different sides to it, but I'll talk to that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hi, my name's Ben. Thanks so much for having me here today. So Emanda is actually M&A spelt phonetically, and for those of you who don't know M&A, it's mergers and acquisitions. You're probably wondering, why is there a technologist in the mergers and acquisition space? There's two sides to our business. So we've actually got two businesses. We've got the Emanda App, is the product, and I'll talk about that in a moment. And for anyone that knows me, having worked in technology, a big part of me is I just always like to automate myself out of the job, and it's a pretty key tenet of any technologist. So the Emanda App is our way of automating ourselves out of part of our role. The ventures side is focused really on helping founders launch businesses. So we like to work at the start, where we like to focus with the end in mind. So we've gone through exits and done a variety of different things with founders before. We kind of understand what needs to happen at the end. If you talk to my co-founder, Pete Gatt, he'll say there were things that he wishes on his first and second exit, which he had known early on, which would have changed, I guess, how he would have gone through that whole process. So we like to work with founders to go, yeah, we'll help you understand, work from the end, and then work backwards from that, and then go, well, what's the business that we need to put in place? And we work with founders generally who want to work with, help build SaaS-based product or digital-based products, and we'll help them move from services-based businesses into that. And then we also like to work with them at the end when they want to go through the exit process as well.
Oh, I love that. And what a great thing you're doing to help everyday people become, manifest the actual, and I guess bring to life their dreams, right? Whether it's a service business that you enter into technology. So I love that. I'm just going to say hello to Royce. Thanks for being here, and Rob as well. Thank you for being here. So I love that. Now, in terms of challenges, we were talking just beforehand, and you actually managed to mention 7 different things. So whilst we can't talk about all 7 today, we might have to get you back on. What were the 7 key things that you learned in terms of challenges you faced? Because I think they are very relevant to most people in business.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So interestingly, as I was kind of doing some prep to come on, I spent the last couple of years, I've been running this business for nearly 2 years now, and I've been thinking, what were the kind of key things that came out of that? And there were 7 that I kind of landed on. So the first one was, you've got to be really comfortable with rejection. And I think your success of your business is tied, or just of you generally, is tied to how well you can deal with rejection. One of the things I keep thinking of is salespeople are compensated really highly because they have to get told no all the time. And as a founder, a business owner, you're going to be told no a lot, and your ability just to pick yourself up and push on is really, really critical in that. Yeah. Ties into the next one of resilience. Yeah, so being resilient and building a network of people around you. Those business communities are very popular, groups are popular. Going and being able to connect with other business owners where you can talk to and seek advice from is so critical. You want to be able to learn from people that have done it, gone up to maybe that next level, or around or at your level, who are dealing with some similar challenges that you're maybe leaning into. So you want to make sure that you're resilient mentally and also physically strong. So making sure you're exercising frequently is something that I do quite a lot of, because it helps me just keep normal, I think, and then leveraging that network that you've got built. Yeah. The next one was knowing your limits as a founder, and I think this one's really important. Being self-aware of going, this is what I'm really good at, and this is what I'm not good at, and getting help. And when you start a business early on, you're going to be spending a lot of time. Doing everything. As you scale, you will actually become a bottleneck. So, or grow or scale, you'll become a bottleneck. So how do you actually go, this is what I'm really good at, and this is where I'm going to double down, and this is what I'm going to hire for or bring someone else in. The next one, and the fourth one, was pick your right business partner. I am very, very blessed to have 2 awesome business partners, and shout out to Pete Gatt and Emily Grinton. They are both amazing. We all have different sets of skills, but our ability to communicate with one another, talk openly and honestly, have difficult conversations has been a big driver as why we've been quite successful in growing and scaling the business. So picking that business partner is absolutely important, and it's probably going to be one of the most important decisions you will make when you start a business or choosing to bring someone in. I've been exposed to people that have picked the wrong business partner and the impact that has later on, where you go, damn, I've got someone not pulling their weight, or it's not working, and they've got like 20% equity of the company or whatever the number is. So really important. The fifth was balancing personal and professional life. And I'll probably talk to that in a moment as around one of the challenges that I've dealt with. And I think a lot of us will deal with as you go, but making sure you're taking the time out to live your life is critical. I think as founders, you're told, I've got to work all the time and do everything. And I was doing that at the start, like grinding 7 days a week, just not healthy. I found that my performance was dropping. And my relationship with my partner was suffering. My relationship with my friends was suffering. So making sure you're getting that balance. Picking your team wisely was the sixth one. So the importance of hiring the right people. If you think around that, right, the people are the absolute lifeblood of your business, and getting hiring right early on is really important. I think early on in a business, the wrong hire can really impact impact how well the business is going to perform. And then the seventh one was building systems and processes to scale. And it sounds so obvious, but I said earlier, growth is not the same as scale. Growth is I'm grinding really hard. Yes, my revenue's going up, but I'm not actually scaling because I need to be in everything. Yeah. So it's important that you're building systems and processes in place so you don't have to be hustling 24/7 and scaling through those. They were the 7 kind of key things that if I think about the last 2 years, have just kind of bubbled up to the top, and the kind of key lessons that have come out of that, which I kind of wanted to share.
Yeah, no, I love those. And it's interesting as I'm listening to them, I can resonate with all of them, by the way. And I'm not even scaling or working with other people right now, right? And the 2 things that hangs together is that thing of, ideally, I want a passive income. I want to scale. But right now, I'm exactly doing that. I'm doing all the work myself because I haven't got all the systems in place, and I'm a one-man band still in the types of work I do. And at the same time, that directly impacts what you wanted to talk more about today, which is making sure you still have a life. Because, if you're the one you only make money when you're working, then you suddenly come into a place where you get stressed if you're not working, and you get stressed if you keep working, if that makes sense.
Well, and then you are the business as well. So that's the other thing. Like if
you don't make money, you do not well.
Correct. And so you hit on the point of a lot of people, why do people go to start a business? Sure, they want to change the world. There's all these things that they want to do. A lot of it is, from my experience, especially if you talk to founders that have been doing it for 3 or 4 years, they get tired, by the way. You get after that 3-year mark and you get quite tired. You go, geez, I want to be living my life. But a lot of it is they're dreaming of some level of financial security so they can go and live their life. Going into that, you're if you, after 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, unless you want to just be doing that, let's just like working on your own, being that, what do they call it, solopreneur or whatever it is. I think it's that is the label that I've read somewhere.
So many names, right?
So many names. But if you want to go and live that, that's great. But really with business, if you want to be going, I want to be getting part of my life back, you should be figuring out what are the systems that are in place so I can go and hire people and then go and place them into that to follow those. Funny enough, just going and hiring someone and throwing them in, it's not necessarily going to work unless you've got some sort of repeatable pattern and system that's in place that's going to enable you to scale. So at Emanda, what we've been doing over the last 12 months specifically is what are those systems in place to help us, for example, go from someone that might have an idea to a product in market, and what's that engine that we take them through? Because how do we go from, I guess, idea to, well, we say idea to exit as quickly, as safely as possible, and what's that engine that we take them through, and what's that repeatable process? Now we've got that. We're now going, great. How can I scale through that, and how can I hire the right people to go in and take that process and continue pushing it forward?
Yeah, I love that. And I just want to say hello to Moosey as well. He's asking, by the way, what is the main impetus behind your decision to launch Emanda? What do you see Emanda 2 years from now?
The decision to launch it was we For us, we wanted to we found it important to go for people starting businesses, launching businesses, moving into product. There were things that had we known at the start of doing it previously, it would have made things easier and better, and we would have had greater exits and all of those type of things. So for us, it was very much around being that safeguarding pair of hands to other business owners, other founders, and helping them guide them through that process and letting them learn from our lessons, but also giving them the capability to accelerate to market. I think now you can go from launching a business to an exit in as little as 3 years. So the cycles are massively reduced. So now having that guiding safe pair of hands to help you through that is kind of what we wanted to be able to do.
Yeah.
And then from the product side as well, and I haven't talked much about that. I'm happy to talk to anyone about that, about the product. The product was helping us. Yes, you've got to build those systems. The product itself was to help businesses go through that scale process.
Yeah. Yeah.
And where do we see ourselves in 2 years from now was the other part of the question. Sorry, I'll just quickly jump in.
Yeah.
I'm constantly going, have we been able to exit our business? Probably not in 2 years. I'd like to think that we've scaled out further. We've got a greater number of clients that I'm working with, and we've kind of been able to take enough. I would love to think that in the next kind of couple of years, we've been able to take some of our clients through to the whole process idea to exit. We have worked with businesses on the exit side now who are exiting their business and working with businesses at the start. I'd love to think in the next 2 years, we've been able to help someone go through that whole process.
I love that. And how does that fit in with your comment around and your learning around as well, in terms of making sure you make time for your personal life as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the balancing of my personal and professional life has probably been, I don't know, I've lost it.
Can you see me? I can see you. I can see you. Can you see me?
You can hear me? You've frozen. I'm presuming I'm still okay.
You're fine. You're fine. I'm just fighting you in private. Let's see what we get. I see you.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Maybe it's me.
Okay, cool. As long as you can hear me, that's all good. I think you're a bit broken up for me. So I'll just keep talking. So the balancing of my personal and professional life has been probably one of the largest challenges I've faced, and not just from a business perspective, just because it's when you go and start a business, you give up. You make a decision to give up a big chunk of your life to go and pursue that. And interestingly, you get told, "Hey, I go start a business," and the Instagram or whatever will tell you if you go and start a business, you'll live this really free life. I would say that's not been my experience, and anyone that has gone and started not just selling some courses online or whatever, an actual business you'll probably go, it's going to be years of really, really hard work. Early on, I was burning myself out quite a bit. I was grinding because that's effectively what I'd been told I needed to do. That's what I don't want to use the term conditioned, but that's kind of what I'd been conditioned to go and do. You grind. I found after the first 12 months, it just wasn't sustainable. And interestingly, my personal life and my relationship with my wife was having not issues. And if she's watching, it's not issues. We weren't getting the quality time together that we wanted to have together. And interestingly, I'd sacrificed a lot of my personal life with my friends. My wife understood when we went into this, she made, if she wasn't on board, I wouldn't have gone ahead. So she knew what she was signing up for coming into that. And she's been great and she's amazing and so supportive. But a lot of my friends, they understood I was going to do it, but they've never gone and done it. So you start getting, I don't want to say excluded from things, but you're just not present and therefore you're not front of mind. So for me, the largest challenge was just getting that balance right. And early on, when I was even with people, I'd be on my phone and I'm punching away at messages because they're coming through, and you're kind of hustling because you're trying to get this business off the ground, and that's kind of what you have to do. After the first 12 months, though, I kind of made a conscious decision going, actually, this isn't working the amount that I'm working. And although we could see the right markers that the business was growing and moving in the right direction, I was going, I'm not getting the time with my friends. I'm feeling burnt out. I was getting to Monday morning exhausted. And then interestingly, it started affecting my performance throughout the week. So now I've started to move to, for example, between 6 and 9 every night, I don't work. I come home, I log off. I might work after that, but I spend some quality time. And I've come to the point of going, when I invest into doing something now, I'm making sure I'm really present for that. So if that is, I'm going to go hang out with a friend. I've made the decision above everything else that is the most important thing for me to do, or I'm going to go out to dinner with my wife. That's the most important thing. And therefore that should be where I focus my energy and time. That's been quite successful. Of course, it always doesn't apply. It doesn't always apply like that, but trying to get that balance right has just been so critical.
Right.
And I've found that in the last 12 months since operating like that, I've been more focused, and we've been able to keep the business growing without this huge investment in my time and me just feeling burnt out, Monday morning.
I love that. And what an important lesson in life, because what's the point of working our whole life only to pass away and never actually having great relationship with others and living the life we want to, right? So the question is, can you hear me?
So important. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, just making sure, because I can see there are some glitches today. Unfortunately, that's the joy of the internet, hey? But with this in mind, so how did you manage to do it and stick with it? Like, because it's one thing to say, I know I need to do this, I need to change, but it takes, I guess, mindset as well in terms of going, the business will still be there tomorrow.
So it's actually a really good question. It ties back to where I said picking your business partners really well. So I actually spoke to my business partners. We'd all kind of talked about we wanting to make sure that we're balancing our life and our work. My Emily, our other business partner, talked about her. She's really good at it. I think Pete and myself probably not as much, but we did have an open conversation around actually we want to make sure that we're getting that balance. And so it started with having that real conversation with our business partners. And as I said, one of the key lessons is making sure you're picking the right business partner who understands and gets all of that. Then it just became around setting in routine. Yeah. So I said I clock off from 6 till 9 every night and I'll come back to it. Those first few weeks of doing that were quite challenging because I'm like, there's work to do. I've got to get things done. But it was just setting those boundaries in place and going, no, actually, I'm going to make sure that I'm committing to this. And don't get me wrong, if something critical has popped up, which it has, I'll prioritize that. But it's just about setting those boundaries and kind of sticking to that and getting comfortable with you hit the nail on the head. The business will still be there tomorrow. The work will still be there tomorrow. I'm okay to pick that up tomorrow and it's not going to make any difference.
Yeah. And I think that's a really critical thing in terms of mindset is one, obviously, as you said, you need to change the pattern, which can be hard because we're used to certain things and having to set boundaries. But I also think it's that understanding that we're not the all and be all, we don't, there's other things in life. Our business will still be there tomorrow, or maybe it won't, depending on, what's
Hopefully
right. But life will, hopefully it is, but life will take the course. Life will go the course it needs to be. And we can do all we want, but if we burn ourselves out, like you said, then you're not going to be able to do the work here that impacts your performance. Correct. So you're kind of stuck in working too hard or not working enough. And I think it's a really hard one, especially if you're starting out, especially, thankfully you also had a couple of people to work with that you are your co-founders in terms of all agreeing to it, because that way you can all, there's this sense of we're all doing it rather than,
Correct.
It's just me doing it. And I find sometimes when you're working on your own, there's no one where that stops you and say, hey, stop working now. Yeah.
Yeah, really, it's hard. I imagine it's challenging for people doing that solo entrepreneurial piece because you don't have that person to bounce off or that other person to bounce off. And I must admit, when it's been me just working on my own for a while, I can just work and work and work. For me, it also, one of the things I said earlier was it ties into knowing your limits as a founder. And that for you is not just what you're good at professionally, but also how much you can work to be effective. And that's been something like being that self-awareness is so critical as a business owner, as a leader. And for me, it's knowing your circadian rhythm of when you're good working. Yeah, I'm not the best working late at night. I'd rather get up early in the morning. And for me, that's just showing a level of maturity and leadership and communicating that with your team or whoever that is going, I work best at these times. And therefore, I'm going to structure my day around that. And I'm also going to make sure that I'm doing the right thing by the business. As I said, common for founders to scale their business, and when it gets to a certain size, they're probably not the best CEO. There's probably better CEOs that you can bring in, and you should be focusing on sales or whatever you're good at. And you see a lot of tech founders that will scale a business up, and then they become business leaders, and then it's been common for some of them to go, actually, I just want to go back to the tech, because that's actually what I really like. And so knowing your limits is just such an important part of that whole process. And what am I good at? What am I strong at? And what do I need to complement my business with?
Yeah. And what do you enjoy too? Because if we go into business just for money, that might give us some success in terms of financial success. But if you're going to spend your whole life building a business, you might as well enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, what are you doing?
You have to love it. I don't think it's like any job, yeah, where if you go and go, I've got this big promotion and I'm now getting all this money, that money will only last for a very finite period of time before you go, I have to get up every single day and do this. Yeah. And that's really hard mentally. It's really, really challenging. And so I'll say that, running and owning a business, it can be like 1 hour you're on top of the world, the next hour it's down here, and then it's back up, and it's like this roller coaster. But then there are these defined, and then there are these defined moments where, for me, it's like we'll help someone take a product to market, or we've helped them exit their business, and it's this absolute moment of satisfaction where you go, we've helped founders in the past who have exited and gone, I've been able to buy a house because of the exit that I've had. Yeah, and like that is just, you've made a material impact on their personal life, or you've unlocked some new skills for them. And so on the, on our services side, on the ventures side, I love working with passionate people who want to grow and build something, and then sharing in the success of that. It's just like this awesome feeling. So, and on top of that, I just love the people that I work with. I come in and I work with a really good team, and that gets me up most days as well.
And that's so important, and that's part of why I love working for myself, is I get to choose who I work with. I get to feel that success of being able to achieve something that I might not have had the self-worth to believe I could do earlier. But my business has been my personal development journey. I will say that if you come into business understanding that it will teach you a lot about yourself and you're open to it, that's been the changer for me, because it gave me great satisfaction, but it also allows me to give back to others in terms of helping them, like you said.
Yeah, you learn so much about yourself. And interestingly, something you just said there as well, you said you get to choose who you work with. When I worked a job previously at a larger enterprise, and before I moved into this, my boss at the time said to me, and stuck with me, he goes, Ben, sometimes you can't pick who you work with, and you have to work with people that you don't like. And I remember thinking, I actually don't need to do that. I've actually got agency, and that's a choice for me to want to stay in that. Now, don't get me wrong, in business, you're always going to have to brush up with that against people that you may not engage with or you may not gel with. But I've picked the team that I work with here, and that's been quite a deliberate choice. And it's actually one of the reasons that I came into this, because I get to work with my friends.
Yeah, and there's a difference between sometimes having to spend a shorter amount of time working with someone we just don't align with personally, values, etc., versus working in a job for 10 years with many people that you may not get on with at all, or have different values, or a place where it's very competitive, or the way the companies, the values aren't really, they say one thing, but they behave in a different way. And you're kind of stuck there. I mean, that can really ruin anyone's life. I've worked in very difficult places in terms of nice people, but also some difficult personalities, right? And it's no fun. It's like, there's no fun in that level of competition at a high level. It's no fun.
Just kills your motivation for the job, I think. Yeah.
And it burns you out in other ways, in terms of not just doing hard work, but actually having to deal with difficult situations. So I think what you said around, if you are going to work with other people, whether through partners or whether through employees that you hire in, really make sure that you get on at some level as well. Personally, I think it's important that you have some level of shared values, or some level of shared goals, or some level of understanding for other people who are different than you, and being aware of that.
Correct. Yeah, the values, you don't have to see eye to eye on a lot of things, but you should have, especially the people you work with permanently, you should have you should have your values aligned in what you're looking to drive and achieve. And even they don't need to be fully matched, but like at a core level, you should go, yes, we value the same things. We want to be ethical, blah, 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 whatever that is. Because the values misalignment is where generally a lot of issues come just in relationships in general.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, with especially in startups and innovation, you do need to actually be able to allow each other to disagree, because, you know, we don't innovate great stuff out of a groupthink. Yeah. Groupthink doesn't lead us to any great innovation. There has to be some level of tension in the conversations to allow us all to be pushed to think bigger and bolder.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Which is really important. So with this in mind, we are finishing up, which was great to have you on.
Goes
Can get you back
quickly.
on. I really hope the internet is okay. I never know until afterwards. Otherwise, we'll do a rerun soon if you have time. It just happens every once in a while. But it was so great to have you on, and I'd love to have you on again. But just before you finish up, how can people reach out to you? Do you have anything going on that you would like to share with people, etc.?
Yeah, so you can reach out to me at ben@emanda.com.au, or just go to emanda.com.au. Or if you want to check out our product, I didn't have much time to talk about that, but Emanda.app, you can have a look at that. AI-powered data room. There's a whole variety of different features in there as well to help you scale your business. And we branded as business advisor in your pocket at a period of time. But that's what we're talking about, the automated part of automating ourselves out of the job. We've also got an event coming up in Sydney called the Emanda Exit Panel, where we're bringing in a bunch of industry experts to talk about their experiences going through the M&A process. And you'll hear things around buyers' perspectives on going through deals, IP ownership, all the legal ins and outs, AI in the realm of DD. That event is happening next Thursday night, and I will, if I can, I'll share out the link for where people can go. If you're in Sydney, please come along and attend that. But yeah, obviously you can connect with me on LinkedIn as well. Would happy to answer any questions, or if anyone's thinking about going and starting a business or building a product or just want some general advice, please come and reach out to us. We'd love to have a chat.
Sounds fantastic. And I definitely recommend that anyone who's looking for help in terms of scaling their business and getting their ideas off into reality, definitely reach out to Ben. So thank you so much for being on here today. I really appreciate your time and all your learnings. And so we'll finish now, and anyone, please reach out to Ben anytime. And just reach out to us and we can answer any questions. So thank you so much.
Thanks.